going on, Bengals fans? Stone Shields on hand for another edition of Bengals Breakdown. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be breaking down some of the Bengals draft grades here through day two. The Bengals obviously have made 3 selections, 1 last night, 2 today. So we're coming at you here with a little late night video, kind of breaking down where things sit after Cincinnati has added to their roster over the past 48 hours or so, bringing in 3 new players, all of which, by the way, really need to contribute for the Cincinnati Bengals football team in 20, obviously and beyond, but in 2025 specifically, need help from all 3 of these guys. So we're going to be breaking down some grades here on today's show. Do want to make note, I'm doing a little solo producing here. Things are crazy here at our Chat Sports offices, and was able to step aside from the madness a little bit here and do a little solo Bengals video for you guys so we could talk about our favorite team, of course, the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll do more draft grades, more draft analysis throughout the weekend, as well as UDFA stuff on Sunday, and then kind of back to our regularly scheduled programming. I'll have my guy Chris Daughtry helping us out producing, and things will be a little bit more smooth, but did want to bring all the best Bengals coverage to you guys here at our Chat Sports offices throughout the NFL Draft. Make sure you guys help us out. Hit that sub button if you haven't done so already at youtube.com/Bengals TV. Like I said, next couple of days, pretty hectic. We'll get as much content out to you guys as possible, and then from there, we'll kind of get back into our routine. But we got plenty of stuff to talk about, plenty of guys being drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, and hopefully have a massive impact on this football team. So we got some grades here coming your guys' way. First up, let's go back to last night. Shamar Stewart, pick number 17 for the Cincinnati Bengals in that first round, and just kind of based off, talking with people on social media, right? Looking through all the comments that we have gotten here at Bengals Breakdown through the videos that we have done, right? People don't seem to be very pleased about this selection of Shamar Stewart. And look, I get it, right? Look, I always want to draft the guy. If you're picking in the top 20, you want to draft the guy that had serious production in college and hopefully can transfer that over to the NFL. And you got a guy in Shamar Stewart that, he didn't have really any production in college. So that obviously is a concern. And also there were so many guys available that you could have taken safe picks, right, that you knew were going to come in and be able to contribute to your football team. And you passed up on him for a risky guy when you really need someone to step up for your defense. So I totally get it. I'm giving this a C. This has an opportunity to be an F. It also has an opportunity to be an A+. If people really think, they don't think, Shamar Stewart is a freak athlete, and if the Bengals can translate that freaky athleticism into production on the football field, they have a steal at number 17 overall. This really is one of the best athletes we have seen in recent years as far as the combine stuff goes. Cincinnati obviously fell in love with him, and they took him. But obviously this could go sideways on you as well. If he provides similar production to what he provided in college when he was at Texas A&M, that's going to be a massive issue, and he's not going to look like a first-round pick, and this is going to be one of the biggest busts that we have seen in recent memory. So it's a tough pick. I would have taken a safer guy when you have all the needs that you have as a football team, but Cincinnati goes with Shamar Stewart. I'm giving it a C. I'm kind of right in the middle, kind of saying, you know what? I'll trust you, Zach Taylor. I'll trust you, Duke Tobin. Hopefully you can get the most out of him. It's tough for us, right? We're fans. Yeah, we watch football, of course, but these guys really did thorough studies on all of these players, and they opted to go with Shamar Stewart over a ton of really, really good football players. Hopefully they're right. They've aced this process in the past. They've also been bad at this process. When you're talking about the Cincinnati Bengals drafting guys, right? They've been really good at it. They've been really bad at it. We'll see. Shamar Stewart, I am giving him a C. I totally get all the frustration, but we just got to be patient, and hopefully come week 1 of 2025, he can go out there and really produce for this football team because the Bengals certainly need it. Pin comment time. Grade the Bengals draft so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section of today's video. I want to know what you guys think. I'll have my grade for you guys at the end of this show, so make sure you stick around throughout the entirety of the show. But let me know. A, B, C, D, or F. What do you think the Bengals get so far through 3 picks? Let me know in the comments right now. Pick number 2 for Cincinnati. Demetrius Knight Jr. Round 2, pick number 49, linebacker. Most recently played his college ball at South Carolina. Gave this one a B-. Now, this is a very interesting pick. This guy played 6 years of college football, right? Spent a lot of time at Georgia Tech. Even played a year at Charlotte where he went off in the American, and then finished up at South Carolina. There were some really good players available on the board, kind of similar to what we were talking about there in the first round, right? You had Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame, the safety that we've all been raving about. He was available to you And also Tate Ratledge, the guard that we've been talking about out of Georgia, he was available for you as well. You went with Demetrius Knight, giving this one a B- because he's a really good tackler. It's what you need. And it's funny because a lot of people have comped him to Jermaine Pratt, and obviously he will be replacing Jermaine Pratt. Nothing official yet on the Pratt front. Hasn't been released or anything like that, but I'd be shocked if he was with the Bengals in 2025. I'm expecting Demetrius Knight to go out there and compete for a starting spot. Honestly, he's the front runner, I would say, at this point, to be a starter next to Logan Wilson as your linebacker, with Oren Burks kind of being that third guy. It's a guy that's really mature. All right, he wore the green dot in college, right? Coaches, teammates trusted him implicitly. He is a mature guy. He is a grown man. I believe he is married. 6 years of college football. So the Bengals are getting a guy here that they believe can contribute immediately. Kind of the opposite of the Shamar Stewart pick. This is a safe bet. You know what you're going to get in this guy. Just a matter of if it's going to be good enough. You've had some question marks with Demetrius Knight Jr. as far as coverage goes, which you've struggled with coverage and linebackers before in the past. So that's certainly a little concerning. But he can tackle. He can get guys on the ground. He's a really, really tough dude, which is kind of a theme throughout all three of these picks Cincinnati has made so far. I'm giving this one a B-. Hopefully, Al Golden can work some magic. Linebackers, of course, his specialty, and then get the best out of Demetrius Knight Jr., given this pick in particular, a B-. We'll continue with our grades here in a minute, but first, I want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Game Time, as today's show is presented by Game Time. Game Time makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch or the start of your event. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Last-minute deals, they've got them. Save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and so much more. The zone deals save even more when you choose a section and let Game Time choose the seats for you. Really love the seat views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy with Game Time. Cincinnati Redlegs baseball. Really encourage you guys to get some tickets. Watch them go out there and compete on the diamond. Hopefully trending in the right direction, right? I'm actually not sure what they did tonight. Hopefully they got a victory over Colorado, but regardless, plenty of baseball to be viewed this summer at GABP, and no better place to get your tickets than over at Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, all guaranteed. Now for my favorite pick so far out of the three, Dylan Fairchild, guard out of Georgia. I am giving this one an A. I am really, really fired up about this Dylan Fairchild selection. He's a guard at Georgia. Who else played at Georgia? Oh, that's right, Amarius Mims. They were teammates there. They've said, on social media, the two have already talked. They're fired up to be playing together again. Let me tell you, when you get Georgia Bulldogs on your offensive line, or your defensive line, really, for that matter, it's usually a good pick. Those are tough dudes playing for Kirby Smart, right? They play tough, physical, hard-nosed football, and that's exactly what you get in a guy like Dylan Fairchild. And he's as tough as they come, and he's strong. He's got that grizzly bear strength. The numbers that he puts up in the weight room, honestly, is astounding. And I think the Bengals have something here. This is some good work by Cincinnati, good work by Duke Tobin, good work by Zach Taylor and the whole crew landing Dylan Fairchild. Obviously, we've had individual videos kind of assessing all the picks. Haven't done an individual video on Dylan Fairchild, but I'm incredibly excited about this selection for the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you're not excited about it, or you just don't know, I get it. He's an interior offensive lineman. Really encourage you guys to check out what Dan Pitcher had to say when he was talking about Dylan Fairchild. Dan Pitcher, of course, the OC for the Cincinnati Bengals. It will make you want to run through a brick wall. It will get you fired up. He absolutely loves Dylan Fairchild. And he said, he went out there and said, that left guard spot, it's his to lose. Day one is what he said. So there's a sense of urgency with this coaching staff, and all three of these guys are going to be out there probably as starters. These three guys that we've talked about, Shamar Stewart, Demetrius Knight Jr., and Dylan Fairchild, all going to be starting for the Cincinnati Bengals football team. And I think that's a good thing. Bengals have somebody here that can protect Joe Burrow in Dylan Fairchild. You just worry a little bit about the fact that he hasn't played a ton of football, right? That's kind of the only knock on Dylan Fairchild. Had some injury issues, wasn't fully healthy throughout the pre-draft process. So there's a bit of concern when it comes to the lack of football that he has played, but that was really the only thing. This is a tough dude. This guy is built for the AFC North. He's a Georgia Bulldog, has that relationship with Amarius Mims. Not going to be playing right next to him. Probably going to be more of a left guard than a right guard. We'll see. Obviously, you got to bounce around a little bit as well. But I'm fired up about this Dylan Fairchild pick. I feel so much better about the Bengals offensive line, particularly there on the interior. Dylan Fairchild, great pick by Cincinnati in the 3rd round. Another opportunity for you guys to get involved with our show here at Bengals Breakdown. What's your least favorite pick so far by the Cincinnati Bengals? Let me know. I think I know what you guys are going to say, but let me know regardless in the comments section of today's show. Is it Shamar Stewart, or is it perhaps one of the other 2 picks that Cincinnati made? Let me know in the comments right now. Leads us to our final grade here. So far, through 3 rounds and 3 picks, I'm giving the Cincinnati Bengals a B-, but certainly trending in the right direction. Now, there's some people that talk about football that would come on here and say Shamar Stewart was a great pick. You couldn't pass on a guy like that with that amount of talent. Now, my response to that would be, yes, some teams, if you're in a position where you're not so bad on defense and desperately need to land somebody that can go out there and play winning football for you, I would agree with that. But from Cincinnati's perspective, so many safer options out there, so I gave it to C+. Like I said at the beginning of the video, that could skyrocket up to an A-, or it could fall all the way down to the surface at an F. We really don't know. It's a crazy pick, and we'll see how he develops. Really nobody better, though, in my opinion, to develop him than Al Golden. I'm really fired up about that hire. Boy, does he have a lot on his plate. Knight at your linebacker spot. It's a mature guy. It's a guy that feels like a safe pick for Cincinnati. They said, you know what? We know what we have in this kid. He can come in here, 6-year guy in college. We know what we're going to get, and he can contribute right now. So that's what Cincinnati needs at that linebacker spot. Then, of course, Dylan Fairchild is what brings this up. I could even argue a B if Dylan Fairchild really brought it up that much more. But Fairchild, really fired up about that pick. Lineman out of Georgia. I think that quells a lot of your concern when you're talking about the interior offensive line for Cincinnati. Appreciate all you guys staying patient with me throughout this process. It is not the easiest thing in the world here to solo produce. We're also down in our Dallas offices here in Chat Sports, but did want to spend some time talking some Cincinnati Bengals football with you guys. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the patience as well, and we will have more coverage throughout the weekend additionally. So help me out, help yourself out, hit that sub button, and we'll talk to you soon here on Bengals Breakdown.